you already know that it's time for you to get to it and stop playing around. You already know what you called to do. You already know your purpose. You know how I know you know? Because God already told you. But your problem is you steady running. You steady trying to go do that other thing. You steady trying to run and go pursue and do what you saying other people do. Instead of asking questions, what you think about that? How much money you make with that? Say, look, don't worry about that. What's for you is for you. You ain't got to go chasing nobody else's dream. God already gave you your own. You ain't got to try to go do what you seeing other people do because God already got something special for you. See, God chose you. God got more for you. But you finna have to put some work in you ain't never put in before. You finna, it requires more of you. Yeah, you gonna have to work harder. You gonna have to do more. Yeah, you gonna have to stop doing other things. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? It's all for the benefit of what God has called you for God's glory. Whatever that look like for you. See, the thing is, we see other people doing what they be doing, how they be doing it, when they be doing it, especially on this social media stuff, and we figure, man, I need to tap into that, see what that be like. No, you don't. You don't need to do what everybody else doing. That's their business. What you worrying about what other people doing for when God already gave you the tools to do what you need to do? You're already creative. That was in the beginning of the word. He said, let us make man in our image, okay? If he said, let us make man in our image, in the beginning of Genesis, all he did was create. God ain't buy nothing from nobody. God ain't had no webinar going on. He ain't had no special class on no social media. He ain't had none of that. God just created just because that's who he is. And so I think we getting a little too far away from real and reality, and we focusing on the things that we see. He tell us in his word, you can't have faith and you can't believe in something that you see. You got to believe in the unseen. If you gonna elevate and get to a place that you ain't never been before, it's gonna be the unseen. It's gonna be the unseen. You get what I'm saying? So it's time out for worrying about what everybody else doing. No, stop it. Get to what you need to be doing and go to it. Now let's break this down because, you know, I be getting questions like, man, how you know, or, you know, how long? That's the wrong question to ask. I'm the wrong person to ask, and that's the wrong question to ask, and you shouldn't ask that question. Because how long, it's not your business, because that's God's doing. You see what I'm saying? You can't ask God about God's stuff. You get what I'm saying? Meaning that he gonna show you a list of, he might tell you a list of vision, dream, spoken word, whatever, just signs. People might come up to you after you done pray, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the timing is in his hands. We don't control the time. And you see, you got a problem with his time. That's why you keep getting discouraged. God ain't mean for you to be getting discouraged. You ain't supposed to be getting discouraged. Choose peace instead of being discouraged, man. Choose peace. And also, back to faith. How you gonna have faith if you ain't putting in no action? I gotta refer back to my boy, man, cause, you know what I'm saying, I consider him a mentor, even though I ain't met him yet, talking about Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip-hop preacher. You know what I'm saying? The motivation, number one motivation speaker in the world. You know what I'm saying? He say you could do all the praying you want, all the reading you want, all the church you want, but if you don't put no action in, how are you gonna get and receive the blessings that God got for you? You know what I'm saying? And there's many times where people get the misunderstanding that, you know, just because you say you believe in God or you say you have faith in God, it's just gonna fall out the sky. Man, if it was that easy, I probably wouldn't even be making these videos, because I don't know what I'd be doing. If it was that easy, I know I probably wouldn't be doing nothing positive. And I thank God that I didn't get the things that I asked for in the time that I asked for them, because I was young, stupid, naive, and crazy. All that, you know, and I ain't afraid to admit it, I was. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had an understanding. I ain't had a wisdom that I had now. I ain't had a knowledge that I had now. I ain't had a tools to maintain a big blessing, the blessing that I was praying for. And I still got some things that I've been praying for that, you know, I just shared something with a guy at work, you know what I'm saying? I was telling him about my dream car, you know what I'm saying? That Rolls Royce Phantom. you know, and the first thing somebody gonna think, oh man, that's too much money, man, that's crazy. It ain't, I'm crazy, you know what I'm saying? I put it like that, I'm crazy, you sure right. That is crazy, cause I'm crazy, and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. And it ain't the show off and you know, let people know, oh, you know, I got a Rolls Royce. Nah, this what I want. You know what I'm saying? This what I want. And I got big dreams. You see what I'm saying? All that this small stuff, don't God always come through on that stuff that you be asking for, but God already told you he gonna provide you for your needs. And you start asking him the same thing. You gotta up your acts. God do miracles. See, we be talking about miracles and stuff like that, you know, then, you know, as the human race, we get so religious, you know, the miraculous miracles God be doing. When you gonna ask him to do one for you? When you gonna believe him to do one for you in your life? See, I ain't just up here talking like, you know what I'm saying, I just want it because it sounds good, I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. God done blessed me around some amazing people. Actually, I got a chance Monday to see my dream car. It was a couple of them, the Phantom truck, Rolls Royce. Then they had the car, classic, you know what I'm saying? Got the stars all at the top. And then I seen the drop top. I ain't never in my life, even online, like I just ain't never seen the drop top, but I got to see it in person. Man, that did something to me, that motivated me, because I got big dreams. I'm not talking about no chump change. I got big dreams. And I don't care what nobody think, because a lot of people be like, you know, especially me growing up, like I say, I ain't grow up in church or nothing like that. I hear people say all the time, all you need is God. You don't need all that money and all that, that's too much. How that's too much? When in the Bible, God talk about money. And if we gonna be children, if we his children, and we saints or we whatever, you know what I'm saying? How we gonna represent his kingdom broke? Meaning, it got people in need, and they come to us. How we gonna give? How we gonna dish out? Now I ain't saying that that money better than prayer, but I'm saying you could be an answer prayer to somebody if you elevate your life. Everybody ain't gonna look the same. You know, it got people that live on less, that make less, but they still able to be a blessing to others. You get what I'm saying? So it's all about what big is to you. But you can't get caught up in what other people say and what other people think. You know what I'm saying? Because what God got for you is for you. So like I said in the beginning of this video, it's time out for worrying about what other people doing. It's time for you to dive in, focus on you. You know what it gonna take for you to get where you trying to go. You know what that look like for you, what God say about you, what move God wants you to make. You know what I'm saying? What have you been praying for that you haven't received yet because you ain't act on it? What you been praying for and you haven't received it yet because you've been scared? What you been praying for that you haven't received yet because deep down you really don't have faith, you just been talking about faith. You know, that's between you and God. You can speak to God about that. What I'm here for is to encourage you, because I ain't gonna let nothing stop me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like that God has gave me a spiritual awakening, you know what I'm saying, about me. You know, I lived in self-doubt and stuff like that for a while because I had no understanding about him and who he was. But, you know, and me getting in Christ, you know, I don't know why it just seemed like we tend to go to the church and try to see God that way. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Many people get saved. I got saved. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't God, that's the church. You know what I'm saying? The building. You gotta go to God yourself. You gotta see God yourself. You know? And it ain't nothing on this earth greater than God at the end of the day. No matter if you become rich, middle class, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing on this earth greater than God. So why you gonna try to do life without God? Why you trying to figure this life out without God? It's never gonna happen. Even without God, you ain't gonna never figure it out. You see what I'm saying? So just trust in God, man, on your journey, man. And don't focus on what nobody else doing. Get away from your distractions. Do what you gotta do so you can make it. Not just maintain, not just exist in this life, but so you can make it. You know what I'm saying? So you can make it to where you trying to go. You can fulfill the purpose for your life and accomplish all your dreams. That's what it's all about. So You know I had to make this video, man. You know I gotta encourage y'all. But I pray you receive this though. Let's go.